You know what broke me the most in Christianity? It was feeling holy and chosen, but yet also inwardly experiencing emptiness, like this hollow feeling. I was always uncomfortable. I was so unsure of myself. Hello, welcome to Undefined Life, where we explore the gray areas too. We ask questions, and we like critical thinking in this space. You know what's wild? I spent years begging God to see me, pleading to be enough. How did I do that? I spent years shrinking, silencing myself, sacrificing myself to kill parts of me, just to be seen as worthy. At that time, I didn't see that that's what I was doing until I woke up. Like, what? You know? It's like I just woke up in a new reality. And what's so interesting is my waking up was overnight. But here's the truth I discovered. I didn't need to die to be loved. I needed to come alive. You'd only get this if you're someone who's like, I feel strange, I'm deconstructing, or I've deconstructed, or I'm reconstructing. I'm not so obsessed with those labels because I don't like this whole defined life. Because look, we are so nuanced as people. So for so long, I thought my worth came from surrendering everything about who I was, my desires, my voice, my dreams, just to prove my devotion. But all it did was leave me empty, anxious, and so disconnected from the very soul that I was trying to get saved. It meant that I was constantly performing all these acts of holiness, but inside I was disappearing. So, you know, when you're doing these things from a place of, I need to be seen, I need to be worthy, then when you do them, they don't change anything. Because what you're doing is, it's not the outside that changes you, it's the inside that needs to change, that needs the transformation. So by performing, I was doing all the things that you should do as a good Christian. Living up to the good Christian girl image mostly because I wanted to fit in, to belong, and I was looking for acceptance. I didn't know I was looking for acceptance. Well, that kind of faith didn't bring me peace. It just brought me more pain. So what led me to deconstruction? So when I began to deconstruct, I asked myself one question. What if God never wanted me to erase myself, but he just wanted me to embrace myself? He just wanted me to accept myself. It then dawned on me that it's like a contradiction to erase who you are just to prove that you are good. Surely you need to see all parts of you to know what needs to change. And as I said that, I think a lot of Christians have a problem with self-awareness and self-reflection because they're so disconnected from themselves. Anyway, for me, that's when everything changed. I stopped dying to self and I started embracing myself slowly. I started meeting the woman I'd buried under guilt, fear, and shame. I stopped apologizing for existing. I stopped begging for approval, whether divine or human. And I started meeting myself with love. The same love that I'd been told only came from somewhere out there. And you know what? For the first time, I didn't feel far from God. I actually felt like love itself. Of course, my view of a harsh Old Testament God changed, and I don't even see why Old Testament is part of Christianity. Because if you look, Jesus Christ just so different. Anyway, I didn't write the Bible, so let's leave it there. And the more I embraced who I am, the more alive I felt. I realized that divinity wasn't something to chase. It was actually something to remember within. The kingdom of God is within. It's not in outward doings and outward observations. If you think about it, it's unseen. It's not what you see, it's within. Maybe you've been there too, where you try so hard to please God that you forgot how to experience joy or true bliss in your own soul. Maybe you've mistaken that suppression for surrender. And if that's you, you're not alone. If this message is waking something up in you, please know that your awakening doesn't mean you've lost your faith. It might just mean you're finally finding yourself. Even how you view things may change. But instead of fighting it, how about you stay curious? Like, you see, what broke me the most in Christianity was feeling holy and chosen, but yet inwardly I was experiencing this empty, hollow feeling. I kept laying myself down until there was almost nothing left of me. Gosh, it was so depressing. And I got tired of it. I was just like, I'm tired of feeling this way. I want to feel different. And you know, that invited something new. It invited an aliveness. It woke me up.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
It was almost like a Talita Kumi, you know? Little girl, arise. If you've ever been told that losing yourself is the way to salvation, I want you to know you don't have to die to be loved. You don't have to die to who you are to be saved. You just have to know who you are within. You can know who you are within and be saved. And salvation, gosh, I don't know. And this dying has a meaning, but not the one assigned by religion. And I'll explore it in a video in the future. If this resonates with you, if you're healing from religious guilt or learning to love yourself after deconstruction, or just simply you want to love yourself, you want to embrace who you are, you just don't want that guilt anymore, this space is for you. So follow me if you're healing from religious guilt and learning to embrace and love yourself after deconstruction. This is your awakening season, and that in itself is a revival. So please subscribe, stay connected, and let's walk this journey of rediscovering the sacred within ourselves together. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Happy 2026.